Hey, what is up, lads? Welcome back to the new review, and tonight it's gonna be Barotrauma. Actually, it's a fun game. Let's start. In through, I didn't get as far as encountering any vast underwater horrors while be playing Barotrauma. Instead, it was stupidity, not Cthulhu, that led to the demise of my crew. This FTL-style PC submarine game sets beneath the surface of the Jupiter's moons does not hold your hand. That's not to say it's difficult to play. Thanks to the game's clear tutorials and user-friendly interface, I had no problem roaming around the gloomy submarine. But Barotrauma made no effort to slap me on. The worst, when I reached to open a sealed door and 2 minutes later, my captain had drowned. Things didn't go any better from my remaining crew. Despite my best efforts to repair the game, a range of human-sized horrors made their way into the ship and devoured. The only option remaining was for my final crew member to don a diving suit and await her inevitable demise. Barotrauma, as you may have guessed from that little tale, is not a happy-go-lucky game. The odds are stacked against you, and the game side on you only serves to underline how isolated you are. You glimpse the abyss through a pair of periscopes, but your field of vision is very limited. I could shake the feeling that something horrifying was lurking beneath my craft. There were points when I didn't dare my sonar or fear I have my suspicious confined. You do have the means to defend yourself, but the bulk of your in-game time is spent roaming the ship, praying that it holds together and doing anything you can do to delay its decline. Maintaining your vessel is a task that should by rights be utterly tedious, but Barotrauma managed to make it surprisingly engaging pastime. It's also a handy diversion from whatever may be lurking outside your sub. The game can be played in co-op, but when you are not playing as a crew member, the computer will take over and put them to good use, that ones are still alive anyway. Barotrauma is still an early access game, which the campaign is mostly unfinished state, but I still got a kick and quite a few chills out of roaming depths. The later edition of more mission-based content should give the game a shot in the arm. Barotrauma hooked me enough to push past my previous failings, and I'll definitely be diving back, overcome crisis and the unrelenting pressure of a frozen ocean, flee or flight alien lifeforms, explore a strange new world in Jupiter's orbit, command your crew and craft equipment in a tense 2D experience. In the not-too-distant future, where habitat places have become scarce, humanity has arrived on Europe. This moon with its frozen surface is a hostile environment, and life can only be found in the dark ocean below, and the small pockets of human habitation are not the only form of life to be found there. Play as a submarine crew member tasked with managing the many onboard systems, from nuclear reactor to sonar guns, engines, and more. Create tools, drugs, and weapons with the comprehensive crafting system, and learn to overcome the many dangers along the way, procedural levels and events, and ensure no two games will be exactly alike. Online co-op, manage your submarine and its various systems in adrenaline-filled cooperative gameplay. Play as the captain or any of 4 other character classes, with up to 16 players per submarine. Help your teammates survive, or make sure no one does. Single player. Negative, dangerous environments to achieve mission's goal, or simply travel deeper into the game world. Explore alien ranges and wrecked submarines along the way to discover rare and powerful artifacts and other resources. What lies at the end of the road? Transform this game be a Steam workshop, and with the in-game submarine editor, character and procedural animation editor, procedural level editor, and sprite and parties editors, unleash your creativity. So I should tell you about, guys, the story of the Barotrauma. First saw of the light day under the title Subsurface as the second major project of Undertone Games. Undertone Games was founded in 2014 by Finnish game developer Joonas Rikonen, known by his online alias Rigeus, following the success of his free open source horror game SCP Containment Breach. Barotrauma was likewise first released as an open pre-alpha in 2015. Barotrauma is also the first commercial release for Fake Fish, an indie game studio based in Turku, Finland. Also founded in 2014, Fake Fish was initially the result of 5 friends participating in a startup accelerator program and winning the first prize with their game concept. Since then, the Fake Fish has grown to employ a team of both industry veterans and fresh talents, including Jonas from the Undertow games. Toward the end of 2017, Undertone Game was in need of added manpower and Fake Fish was looking for a new project. With the stars aligned, the two studios decided to team up and start working towards Barotrauma's stream release as a joint project. With the active community of players continuing to contribute to the development, Barotrauma is now nearing completion with Steam Early Access release on June 5, 2019. Audit issues caused by a difference in pressure between a gas space inside, not to be confused with Barotrauma with Ish, which is the shock of learning that a chuckle brother has passed away. However, Barotrauma is also a deeply disturbing Steam Early Access game that plunks you into an alien ocean of the submarine. Sounds fun? It is surprisingly despite or perhaps because of the terror this 2D title invokes. You can play it on your own or as part of the team, and the fear factor comes from not knowing what's out there. Watch your average aquatic sci-fi movie and more often than not, you'll see submarines with massive great windows. Here, you have no idea what's out there and it only makes things worse. What's that noise? Just debris hitting the sub or something clawing its way into the ship? Maybe you should investigate, or maybe not. Which is when you're releasing something that breach through the ship and it's rapidly filling with water. If you are playing Barotrauma in multiplayer mode, you got the chance of solving things as team. If not, it's up to you whatever you sink or swim. Okay, I will be speaking shortly about the medic class, which is the personally favorite of mine class. Most fun with this class, there is something comical to the life, to the physicality of it. So we have our own medical interface. Affections affecting characters are shown the list of the left and shows you which part of the body and what recommended to treat from. So in my case it was saying morphine. I just simply should drug them and to heal myself to the part of the body which should I heal. So this is the options for a medic. The UI is also giving you so many tips about the commands, so I could get into more faster. So the game controls are simplified because we have everything advised. I should say something about the updates. I only bring this up because of the extreme alterations to the economy and storage. The issue I was running into was the massive amount of storage space any individual player could have by filling the inventory with toolboxes. First, they changed toolboxes to only have 6 slots, but that wasn't nearly enough, so they gave toolboxes back their 12 slots, but made it so you could only carry it in your hand and not in your inventory. To keep people from stacking them, they balanced this out by adding a slot for a tool belt, which expanded the inventory by 12 spaces, but that was not able to hold large objects such as plant pots or rifles. Then they reduced the number of slots in tool belt to 6. Obviously, there are still ways bypassing these restrictions. It turns out the best storage option in the friends we made along the way, but dragging a box or corpse along with you keeps your hands full and adds to the sense of vulnerability and the need to stay aware of the surrounding. But it is all nerfs across the board. The ability to stock certain smaller objects such as magical supplies and ammunition has been added to the 6 morphine syringes no longer take up 6 times at the amount of space happen gun. There are some really cool visually striking additions to the cover, but I'll add in with this video because it's changed that easy to overlook and a cursory glance from the visual perspective, but makes a really big difference. I would argue an improvement to how I approached the experience gameplay, but on the pretty stuff, the way maps are generated has been fully overhauled, and it breathes so much new life into the game before we even get into the environmental changes. Just the way the walls of levels are shaped has been improved. This gives experience of navigating a much more hands-on feel that rewards attentive captains. The layout changes even make the previously exciting random assets feel more connected with the world, I guess. Ruins and the wreck can be sitting out in the open, but you can also find them nested in canyons or behind the massive destructible ice sheets. More on those later. And since there are multiple parts to do you objectives, it feels like you are discovering these locations rather than repeatedly inevitably coming across them in every map. Another fantastic contribution to both the variety of levels and the sense of the progression in the campaign. Its biome Europa is a frozen tundra on the surface, so the higher level reflects that frigid reality, but as you get deeper you see a more lush middle ground as the heat from the molten core melts the cold of the surface and allows plant life to thrive in lukewarm waters. And finally you reach the bells of hell. A great deal of variety has been added to the environmental threats you can face too. Route currents, fiery lava pillars, diamond-studded lightning rocks that can overload your ship circuitry if you get too close. All of the things make just flipping an autopilot and walking away a much less lucrative option for navigation that it used to be, but in addition that is less visually striking the more things I just mentioned. But I think it like the most is ice. Yeah, seriously, you can come across icebergs or jutting ice pillars which can be destroyed with some well-placed turret shots, or bearing that a very determined crew member with a plasma cutter once they broken the ice shards fade into the background and can no longer physically interact with. I actually asked Regard directly and he says it was always intended to be that way, and for a good reason. The icebergs are moving masses that would not hesitate to Titanic the hell out of your ship if you aren't paying attention. That existed previously, but not this extent. Not destructible ice pillars and can cross the map you block above, like I said earlier. Well, okay guys, that's all for today. Remember to subscribe to our channel, drop us a like or a comment. We hear all the critics, we are just developing team, so we need your support. The Barotrauma actually was fun, but I should dive into it a might bit later. Also with the cooperative players, I mean, like, I will be playing with my friends, that's for sure, because this game is not for a single person, to be completely honest with you guys. And if something, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on my Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all the other stuff. Also the Instagram and the parallel. Let me know if you want you guys that I created something new, like for Reddit or probably the Facebook page or something else. If you know guys something, just let me know in the comment section, and I'll also drop a link to the Steam store for Barotrauma. Anyway, thank you for watching guys. Peace.